Alright, let's have a look at creating an annotation family. It's something you can do for all two-dimensional annotations and symbols, and this allows a fair amount of automation within the Revit climate in the project. And it's better than just doing detail lines for symbols, because you can reuse them over and over again and pop them into a legend as well. So I want to show you how to create this smoke detector. It's got an audible alarm symbol on it as well, and we'll make it so we can turn this off and on, so it can just be a straight smoke detector or a smoke detector with audible alarm. And we'll end up with it looking like this: audible signal off or on. So to make a new annotation family, if we go back into our project here, we just have to go to Revit, New, Family, and this is where you look at Annotations Family, and you would just come down here to a metric generic annotation for this case. All the others can end up being hosted, or remember there's tag families in here as well, which you don't want to have to create accidentally. So for the moment, just stick with generic annotation and hit the go button, and there we are. There's our little instruction from the family template. So we're happy with that. Insertion point is that insertion of reference planes, which is that corner there at the intersection, and we make sure that the family category is set to the appropriate annotation type. Fine. So let's have a look at the family category up here, and we'll see that generic annotations is set. There's one there for fire alarm device tags, but not symbols as such, so we'll leave it as generic annotations. Now, our first thing we've got to work out is our insert point, and I would presume that you'd want to place this smoke alarm with your cursor being in the middle of the smoke alarm. So we will build this around here. The next thing you have to work out is how big you want this to be. Now, most of these symbols will be occurring in a 1 to 100 plan, so quickly just get out a detail line, and if you run this, what would be the equivalent on paper of 3mm, that's going to be the size of the symbol, so that's okay for the size. So let's work on a size of 3mm. Now these things you build on a 1-to-1 scale, so we'll build it as a 3mm object. It's a 2D family, it's not a 3D family, so you'll find that there's lots of things greyed out and or just not available to you. There's no three-dimensional modelling available here, it's all just 2D work. And you'll also find that there's only two types of line types there: generic annotations and invisible lines. And sometimes can be frustrating wondering where the lines are in family categories or family editors. In any 2D family editor, lines are called objects. So if you go up to manage and go object styles, here's our lines that were available to us, generic annotations there. So we could make a new one just so I can show you how it works, and then we can make the line colour, any colour, and maybe the line type is dash dot, and we'll hit OK. Now we'll find that if we go up to create line, we'll find our new line style is there, and that's it there in the blue, like that. So Let's now just place this using the generic line. First thing to do is draw a box 3mm by 3mm. And we'll center it. Over the intersection there. So now we know that our annotation family is dead center. We might change that back to the other normal generic annotations line style, and that's it there. And we might turn it to thin lines so we can see what we're doing. Now we've got to put our little symbol in, so you can do that any way you want really. I suppose one way I could do this is by going halfway to halfway and bringing it down a bit, shortening it up a bit there. We could then mirror that one, and it will let us draw a parallel mirror axis, so we can mirror that across the center like that, and then we'll put another line across there and trim that line and that line, and we've got at least something that's symmetrical. Mightn't be the final best look, but it's not the point of the game showing you this at the moment. Now, oh, that's still in our new line, so we better change that all back again to the generic annotation line style. Turn on the thick lines and you'd have that. So now let's put our little audible signals around here. So again, we go to create line, make sure we're in our generic annotations line style, and we'll go to arcs this time. And we'll go on a 45, put like that one, like that one. Now that's pretty well centered to that line there. I'm just sort of making this symmetrical, that's all. And we might bring it in a bit closer. Put that one about there. And we'll turn on thick lines to make sure that nothing, yep, that's fine. Maybe we'll take it around just a whisker. Yep, that looks a bit better. Now, with this one, we can offset it by, let's try 1mm. No, maybe 0.5. I think we better go for about 0.7 because when our line weight gets added. There we go. Now I think I might have put a separate extra one there. Yeah, I did. So there's my 3 lines off to the side. I might continue this one around a bit more to equal up. So you'll work out your own way of equaling up all this stuff. I'm just doing it a bit roughly at the moment. There we go. So turn on the thick line so we've got something that's looking like that. Now, smoke detector and smoke detector with alarm. Let's make this a multi-purpose annotation family where we just have to use the one family, but when we place it we can switch this off, these 3 off, so it just becomes a smoke detector, or switch them on and it can become the smoke detector and alarm. All families come with a visibility mode, so if we window these 3 items, you'll see over here in the properties that there's a tick box for visible. Don't untick that, but come across to this one here, which is just up there, and tick that. And this is asking us to make a family parameter, and this family parameter will be a visible parameter. So we'll call this audible, let's see, signal, and we'll make it an instance parameter, so we don't have to make a new type each time. We could just change it on each instance, and we'll group it under visibility, and we'll hit the go button there and there. Now we'll find that underneath here we've got underneath visibility audible signal, and it's on at the moment. Now if we turn it off, you'll find that in a family it doesn't actually turn them off, and it's a bit of a pain because you don't know whether it's working or not. The only way you can check that it's working is to check this over here in the properties. Visible is off, but I couldn't touch it because see how I've associated it out to a parameter now. But if I go back up here and I turn it on, and then I select it, it's now on, even though it's greyed out. So it seems to be working, and that was a pretty quick one to make. If we now save it as something, and I'll go to my families, or my created file, go to annotations, and I'll call this smoke detector and alarm symbol. I might even call it 100 for putting on a 1 to 100 plan. Helps me recognize it quicker, and some other time I might make a symbol for 1 to 50 plans. Hit the save. Now remember, that's just been a simple 2D plan. You'll see that there's no 3D views here, there's no 3D menus up here. It's just simple 2D. For AutoCAD it's like a block. Now we'll load it into the project, and there it is on the end of my mouse. Load it in, and we'll place it, say there, and you'll find it down here in the annotation symbols as what we called it, smoke detector and alarm symbol 100, and there's the type there. If you click on this now, we could now turn the signal on and off. So that's pretty handy, isn't it? Given a bit of time, you can go right through all your your electrical plans are the ones that take up a lot of symbols, and give it a couple of hours, you can make up a lot of symbols for an electrical plan, and even a few on-off things like that, which would be handy, like your 2-pole switches and stuff. You could turn one or the other off to make them quite universal. Little symbols for it. So there you go, that's how to make a annotation family with a little bit of a quirkiness there, where you can turn something on or off like that. And I showed you how to make the different lines as well, so you don't have to rely just upon the lines that came in the template. You can always make new lines by going up to manage object styles. It's not in line styles, it's in object styles, because in a 2D family lines are objects. Bit of a hard one to comprehend that. It took me a while to work that one out. So there you go, there's a quick smoke detector and alarm annotation family.